Hey, it's Bailey Morrison, and I'm going to be going over the different questions for the Module 8 Padlet. Bear with me that I'm in my car. Just bear with me. So the first thing is list one pro and con based off what you learned in the March article about separation. And I really like there was a specific word that it used throughout the article, and it was like it's a double-edged sword. And I think that holds true with what I picked out, because my pro is also my con. Like, time apart can heal you. You know, it can show you what you're missing. It can bring you back together in a way, because it just shows you how much you can't live without that person. But on the other hand, it can also show you how easily you can live without that person. So you know, that's that's a pro and con from that. And then the second thing is pick one of the stations to discuss. I picked co-parenting just because this is so big in my life. Not only have my parents co-parented, but my dad co-parented with my mom, but I have two different sisters. I'm sorry, I cannot formulate my thoughts right a second, but both of my sisters also have different dads. So I have, my dad, his name is John, and then my middle sister's dad, his name is Chris, and then my youngest sister's dad's name is Dennis. I'm just telling you that, so when I say something, it doesn't get super confusing. My dad is the best dad of the three, and I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. I mean, he's the most sane, doesn't have a drug problem, never beat on my mom. So their whole deal with co-parenting just came from the fact that he didn't like my mom because she was an addict, and she didn't always do right by us. So that was hard. It's hard watching him try to do right by me, but also being told what to do by her, because she had sole guardianship, or not sole guardianship, but main guardianship. But it's also weird, you know, being a sibling, watching your siblings' parents trying to co-parent, because my sister's dad, Chris, he beat on my mom, and they both had a drug problem at the same time. So that was strange watching them co-parent, and still co-parent to this day, because neither one of my sisters are over 18, so they're still having to go through that. And then my youngest sister's dad, he's not even in her life, but it's just an odd situation. So co-parenting is a huge part of my life, and I hope I never have to do that with my husband. I hope we can stay together. Which one of the causes and correlations from the textbook stood out, blah blah blah. Age of marriage stood out to me. It's probably always going to stand out to me just because I got married so young, and I fully understand all of the controversy that comes with that, because I do understand that what you may think is right at 18, you haven't really lived a life yet. Most people haven't really lived a full adult life, so it's hard to say what you would want or what you wouldn't want years down the road. But it's also just crazy to think about. This is why I always find it interesting, because it's just crazy to think about how far we have come. 100 years ago, it wouldn't be nothing but a thing for two 16-year-olds to get married, and I mean, you know, they'd have a homestead and 3 kids by then. It just wasn't that crazy. But now, when you get married at 18, 19, 20, even 21 sometimes, it's I'm sorry, my husband's calling. But even when you get married at 21, people are still looking at you are you sure? Which, I get it, but still, just how the time changes. And then the last thing is share one interesting thing from the video. And I guess since I talked about the fact that, you know, co-parenting was such a big thing in my life, I've always related to the song Love Triangle. I couldn't listen to it when it first came out. It would make me cry so hard, because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard my situation on the radio before, because it's just so taboo. People don't talk about stuff like that. So yeah, I guess it's just relatable.